We've spent 6 months living full time in our VW transporter van, and here's everything that went wrong and a few tips as well at the end.
There's been plenty of ups and plenty of downs, and at one point we genuinely thought we was going to go home on the back of a tow truck and cut our journey short. But more of that coming up.
So we're Beth and Ryan, and we've just spent 6 months living full time on the road, travelling around Europe and Morocco. We did this in our Volkswagen T5 called Tilly. After originally just buying her for a weekend getaway van, we decided to go on a trip of a lifetime, and wow, she has took us some places. But like with anything, with all the ups, there's always downs. So here is everything that went wrong in our van whilst travelling at full time on the road. So starting off, which is the one I was most gutted about, was this curtain. Before we went away, it was nicely pinned to the top, all nice, and it just rolled up really smoothly. And then when we was in Montenegro, Rai seen a wasp one morning when the curtain was down, and he decided to sprint from outside the van onto the chair here, because the swivel chair was round, and pulled the whole curtain down with it. I was fuming.
In my defence, it was a massive queen bee, and it just made a beeline for me, so I had to just retreat.
So we just had to find, it was done with staples and wood glue, so we just had to find some pins in a shop and pin it together, but it's just never been the same. So that was gutting.
There's been a few times where we thought, oh no, we can't carry on unless we get this sorted. And this next one is one of the main ones. It was our first big problem in the van, and it was the leisure battery. So if you've been following us for a while, you'll know that our first leisure battery was an AGM battery, and it was not keeping up. So we basically ended up without power on quite a few days. If we were driving, we were just about getting away with it, but then we'd just be dead through the night, so we had to get it fixed. So we've actually been unlucky, so we managed to go to a really cool company in Milan who replaced our battery to a lithium one. They also fitted a DC to DC charger to make it eligible for charging lithium batteries. Unlucky to us, it was working perfectly. 2 months later, we wake up one random day with we had a full battery, and it just completely shut off the battery system. And ever since then, our battery's been faulty. So it's got a problem with the management system of the battery. Where our problem now comes is we paid €780 for the DC to DC on the lithium battery. Big knock out of our budget. It's now faulty. The company's in Milan, we're in Morocco, and we're driving to the UK. The company that makes them are on the other side of France, nowhere near us, so getting our money back or getting a replacement is going to be graft.
The next thing is on the back of our seats, we had seat hooks that clipped on there. Ignore the stay at the front of the van as well. They clipped on the back of the seat, and because we actually got 2 lots, we had some when we set off, then they broke, and then we got some more sent out to us from home. But because our bags just kept filling up, because we've got no storage for anything, so we're just shoving everything in the bags at the back, they just kept breaking, so that was another thing that broke. Another thing, the door hinges. The hinges just keep falling off, so this cupboard has been broke for ages, so it's got a wobbly cupboard.
That fridge magnet collection though.
And also this one.
Moving inside to the van.
This one. That's broken.
Simple fixes, just annoying.
Just annoying.
Just overfilled. When we did our campervan conversion, we was doing it for weekends and 2-week trips, 3-week trips. So we had the clever idea of, instead of carrying big gas bottles around, we'll carry a few of these around. So basically, camping gas stoves that go straight onto your... There you go. So the way this works is simple screw. This has got a pin inside of it. After 2 months of being on the road, our original one of these, the pin snapped. It would overfill the cooker with gas, and we just ended up going through like a bottle every time we cooked some tomato soup or something. So that's something that's gone wrong, and we've had to get one shipped from home to replace it. Not worth it in the future, just get a normal gas bottle. And also, these actually not been that as easy on the road as we thought they would be, because we used to get them off Amazon, so we've had to keep finding camping shops, random shops, anything. Obviously, we didn't think that you couldn't get these delivered because they're hazardous. So some in like outdoorsy parts of Europe, it's pretty easy to get similar, but when we've been on the road in remote places, nobody really holds stock of it, whereas gas you can get everywhere in big bottles. So another one.
Another thing that went on us halfway through the trip was our 2 USB sockets. So we've only got one working, not the other. We actually did get some delivered to us when we got a big parcel. If you've not seen our bulking series, it's on there where we're just waiting around for parcel for like nearly 2 months. We have had the new USBs, but we've just actually not used it. We've not done it. So we're actually going home, still not have fixed the 2 USBs, which we actually got given for free to fix as well. So annoying. So we've been living for the last 3 months just off 2 USBs when we got 4 for a reason. Now, before we went away, I did my the eye to get the water containers. So we had running water through our tap and had the wastewater one done, because I was like, it'll just be so much easier for washing up, brushing your teeth. We don't have to carry loads of bottles of water around. Little did we know that obviously 5 litres, well, everyone knows 5 litres actually isn't a lot. And the cupboard, when we did the van build, we actually ruined as well. So we can't completely open it up because of the USBs, so that's a nightmare. And then you've got to get the containers in and out of here. There's pipes connected, there's all sorts of, we actually keep bread, pans and kettles all in there as well. We did it for about 2 months, I'd say max, probably even less, where we'd empty our wastewater and fill up the water and then use the tap with the water, but after it just became...
It lasts 2 days.
It really does not last long. It doesn't last long at all. Well, you can wash up once and brush your teeth twice and then the water's gone. So that's something that even though I feel bad because I did my the right to get it done, but it's because we bought a kitchen set with a sink. So I was like, why have we got a sink if we're not going to use it? But now I wish that we kind of never even got the tap on the sink, because I'm not going to open it for you because we actually do store our dirty dishes in there and there's dirty dishes. But the tap just gets in the way of when you're putting the dishes in. So if you're trying to put a pan in there, the tap gets in the way and you can't shut this properly. So I wouldn't even get the tap and I wouldn't get the bottles, and I'll just have that as complete storage. For full-time living, it's not worth it. If you were just doing it for a weekend, it might be worth it, but for full-time living, there's just no point. You're filling it up every other day. Ridiculous.
Another minor problem that we should have got fixed while we were in Morocco, because everything out here is cheap to get fixed. Fancy your windscreen getting washed? Think again. That has been the case for near enough the whole trip, and sometimes we may or may not have had to pull over onto a hard shoulder to throw water over it. Basically, this little pipe's snapped off, we don't know how. Madness.
Randomly, the side door just decides to work and then not work, but recently, as we're getting to the end of the trip, it's starting to become a bit more irritating. Especially when you need to go to the toilet in the middle of the night and you're trying to open the door. And we've worked out there's a bit of an angle, but then sometimes the angle doesn't work. What we think it is because we panelled the side door, something in there mechanically is just a bit off. So when we get home, we're gonna have to pull all the side panel off and fix that. But anyway, when you're trying to open it, oh, there you go, that's how it worked. But sometimes we've literally had to walk outside the passenger door or get people to open the door for us, or hang literally and pull it that way. This is our usual way now. Oh, like that. Nightmare.
Here, this old retro little bag is our fruit storage, and we usually keep on top of it. We eat a lot of fruit sometimes. We basically in Croatia had a few days chilling by the beach and we completely forgot about like what old fruit we had. We came in off the beach one day and we came back to the van to 500 fruit flies.
5,000.
5,000 fruit flies. We'll put a video here. It was hell. We had to literally get Beth to be the exterminator. This is animal rights Beth, by the way. And we had to get one of our old, what they call it, citronella. We had to get one of our citronella candles and literally exterminate the whole van. We had him for probably a week after. So yeah, keep an eye on your fruit. Where do they even come from? Are they inside the fruit? Are you always eating a fruit fly inside your fruit anyway, just waiting to spawn?
This has only recently happened, but wow, it is a ball ache. The fridge, the bit where you put the milk, just excuse the fridge, it is a bit dirty. That is where we keep the milk. That should go on there. And then recently, it just decided to snap off. And now we just keep having to put it there. And move. It sounds so pathetic, but when you have to move everything out and then put it all back in while we're already juggling in this fridge this size, it was just it just didn't need to happen, and it happened. At the very start of us having Tilly, I used to have a nice little spice rack on the inside of this door, stuck on. I used to have all my spices racked up. Anyway, it fell off, so the spices now live up there. I can't tell you how many times a bottle of spice or whatever they're called has come and attacked us, especially if we're on a bit of a slant. You'll open it and they'll all fall down.
It becomes a game of how many you can catch on the way down.
It is literally a game, like you'll be there like... So, it's not really what's gone wrong, but it's something that does not work. So this has actually been going on for us a while, and as we said, even in our van conversion build, it's a bit of a it looks amazing, but it's a bit of a strange contraption. You can literally see it there, the hole that you put your finger in, the wood's literally, it just doesn't roll right, and oh, naughty.
Look how full it is though.
It is full, and it is probably part of our fault because we've got 6 months of worth of clothes in there. This keeps falling off as well, so it doesn't shut properly. But yeah, we keep having to put our hands in and roll it down. And we barely ever get it up to rise shelf. It's normally mine, and we pull rise through here, hence why the hinge is like that as well. And that's actually gone really smooth, but even the wood's just falling apart.
It looks amazing.
It looks gorgeous, but it just doesn't work. So that's something that keeps going wrong on us as well. And sometimes we can't get into our clothes sometimes. Nightmare.
Right, so the biggest issue we've had from the whole trip, we literally thought we was going to end up at home on a tow truck. This was only as soon as we got into Morocco. We just drove all the way from Albania to Morocco. Link here to see the video. Race to Africa. We got there and realised the van was consuming well more oil than it should have been. Went to a VW garage and they said, oh yeah, your turbo's broke. So we obviously weighed up our options, realised how much we'd have to pay for a new turbo. They couldn't get our turbo in the country for over a month. They had to order it from Germany. There was no dealership of VW that had our turbo in. Biggest mistake we made was going to VW in Morocco. They were shocking. But anyway, our Lord and Saviour came. We managed to find a guy called Aziz, who was at a company called Turbo Motors, and he managed to get us back on the road basically. He found out what the problem was with the turbo, said the turbo was still in good nick. I managed to get it changed, but we fought for at least 2 or 3 days while our options were slim. We were going to go home on the back of a tow truck or get a new turbo in Spain. We had to drive it for a few days, just filling up with oil every 3 hours. It was crazy. But one bonus, that we managed to get the parts and the labour done for 130 euros because Morocco prices are crazy. So yeah, we're going to make sure when we get home she gets another good look at. But she's been driving mint since and not dropping much oil at all. So that was definitely our most scariest issue. Mechanically, she's been absolutely sound, but when we got told we can't get a part and don't drive it much, so we were like, oh right, well we're going home on the back of a tow truck then. So then we thought that was a trip over. So very lucky, very fortunate.
At the back of the van, I had such a great idea when we was doing it to put nets on the back doors to get all most storage we could, and they've been absolutely great, especially this side. They have come off a bit, but we did it with staples again, the same with the curtain at the front. Should have brought a staple gun, but where'd you keep it? This side, however, she's seen better days, the girl. She's seen better days, so that's why we've had to put another bag on the back of the seat at the front with all of our hats in as well, because that should be all the way up there. So it works, but then until it didn't. That was really sad. And also, we keep our washing here as well, and one of them hooks broke, so that's just the whole back door is literally just shut everything in that you can and close the doors and pretend, just try not to open them as much as you can because it's like Jenga back here. A thing that a lot of van lifers do struggle with, and we didn't think about it really that much until it happened, was damp. Some of the things, like even the hats in here, because it gets condensated when it's cold or hot or whatever, then things just get damp, and then because you're not touching them all, well, because you're not using them all the time, for example, a beanie hat, you're not using a beanie hat every day, then you're like, wow, that's damp and that smells. And even in this cupboard as well, got a few coats. I actually had to bin one of my coats, one of my big nice puffer coats, because it was full of mould. So one thing that I wish that we did bring was there's little containers that you can get and it takes the damp out of the air. I wish we put a few of these in the van because damp is no joke in a van. Now here's a few things that have really worked for us and we're so glad that we've got or brought or needed when we've needed them most. First one is this little table. It's a little fold away table like that. We leave it at the back of the seat at the front. And we have got another one. I got Rye one as well, but that's in the roof box, never got used. But especially if you're like editing or you're on your laptop or something, it's great for this little workstation. Having your tea, there was at the start, because I left this in the roof box because I just didn't want it in the way at the start. So it's so many times with your knees on, your tea on your knees, But especially if you've got some like gravy, which we did get gravy by the end of the back end of our trip, which we was buzzing about. So when you've got a plate full of gravy, it's nice just to sit it on here. So get your little table because they're absolutely fantastic. This was like £12 from Dunelm or something like that. So good.
Don't worry about what people think. People only care about themselves anyway, not you. Just look at this outfit. Dad mode. I don't care. I've even got them in sports mode for crying out loud. On a serious note, they are the best thing you could ever have. You could literally get away with one pair of walking boots and a pair of Crocs. Doesn't matter what temperature it is, I will wear Crocs. Wear Crocs and socks if you need to, if you're cold.
I've even got fluffy Crocs as well.
Seriously, you think about all the dusty showers you go into as well, and all the beaches you go on to, everywhere you want to be, walking around, driving, in, out, up, down. Perfect water shoes too if you're in a rocky sea. They're absolutely brilliant. I could not recommend them more. Well, I've had these for 6 months now and they're just still as good as new. Watch this little trick now.
What is this little thing, you might ask? It's actually a bin for the front. I'm not going to show you in the front right now because all of our stuff is in the front. But we put that over the gearbox and it just hangs there. So then every time in the front when you're driving and you just got a bit of rubbish or we're having a little few snacks or something like that, in the bin, because especially Ryan will just throw anything anywhere. So it keeps the front nice and tidy. And then you've got a bin for the back. So good. I think it was off Amazon as well for a few quid and it's so worth it. You just put it over the gearbox and jobs are good.
Couldn't be more proven in Morocco. Get yourself some all-terrain tyres. These are called AT3s General Grabbers, and they're basically the best in between a road tyre and an all-terrain tyre, because full all-terrain tyres can be a little bit bad for fuel economy and they can be quite loud. Even though after this trip I wouldn't say no to putting them on. They're actually sick. These are actually brilliant. They're also classed as a winter tyre, so you don't have to worry in Europe too much in the winter time. And Jesus Christ, we've been places we shouldn't have gone.
We've said this many a times before, many times before, but we're going to say it again.
Toasty maker. I don't want to sound like a broken record. Toasties, wraps, toasted wraps. Anything you want in a toasty, it tastes twice as good. Leftovers, leftover chili, enchilada. Bit of ham and cheese toasty. Make some soup, ham and cheese toasty. Toasty maker. Tenner. It's on our Amazon link.
So now it's time to go home and fix everything that has gone wrong in the van. But yeah, we've actually been really lucky. Tilly's held up for us so well. She's done amazing. Even inside, everything. There's been a few things, but there's nothing really major gone wrong. Couldn't have been a better van. And if someone said to us today, go and have another 6 months in her, we 100% would, because we absolutely love her. Another tip for you, if you've got a van this size, follow the sun, because the whole reason why we ended up in Morocco was because we were sick of the cold. We just needed some sun, and it's like night and day. The size of that, the size of how that van felt when we was in Bosnia with the snow to how it's felt since we've been in Morocco is just night and day. It's completely different. So such a good tip for you.
If you're watching this new, you might only just learn that we've actually spent 6 months around Europe and Africa, including sick places like Switzerland, the Dolomites, Montenegro, Albania. I could go on forever. And we're now in Morocco, which is a van life paradise. So if you haven't checked that out, we've got a full playlist of literally us leaving and then coming home, and we actually can't believe how quick 6 months has gone. It's been a joke.
It's gone so quick.
So now we're literally like heads in the shed, pair of us. We have to be home in 4 days. We're still in Morocco.
We're still in Morocco.
Back in work next Monday.
Yeah. By the way, it's Sunday today, and I'm in work on the Monday. Not tomorrow, the Monday after.
Yeah, we haven't given ourselves any time, but why would you when you can just spend more time out here?
Exactly. So if you want to give us a cheeky like and a cheeky subscribe to support us so we can carry on exploring even more, it's literally free and it means the absolute world to us. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Any questions, give us a shout. We'll be happy to help.
Yeah, any questions you've got. We're living in a van, living in a small van, travelling anywhere.
Any tips, tricks?
Yeah, like any questions, let us know.
Comment them all down below, and if you don't, just leave us a comment saying you both smell. But if you don't have a question for us, please leave us a cheeky comment to help our little channel grow by letting us know what your favourite...
What country you want to visit the most?
Oh, Let us know either your favourite country. Actually, let us know your favourite country and a place you want to visit the most.
And a third one for all the people who have followed us from the start to here, or if you've come along the way, what country have you enjoyed watching us the best in? Which vlog did you enjoy the most in which country? So that'd be really cool to know as well. So you've got many questions to answer there. So if you don't leave a comment, we hate you.
We know.
Goodbye.
We know who you are.
Home.
Right, when we first did our camper van, so candid, it's a joke. A few moments later, I don't know why I even had to do it to demonstrate. Inside the bottle, so it was still slightly usable because you could kind of fudge it together, but it just oil. Sorry, it would just keep. It would overfill the. It would overfill the heat. Oh my.
Right. But yeah, so right yeah.
And also made a BT to fitted a BT to B.
DC to DC.
DC to DC charger. It's got no handle now, so it might be a bit difficult. Terrible throw. You got to be like near here so I can underswing it. Lower. Not this again. It's like a reenact. I feel like I'm back 2 months ago. Not far off. A bit low. Close though, that's better. I don't miss. Why are you going so? Why are you doing? Why?